Hey everyone, in this video I want to go through an introduction to the PC Build Lab. So the PC Build Lab is located right here underneath the complete block for Chapter 5. And if we click on that, we can see that there's some instructions here. So if we click on those, we get this PC Build Lab document. So the gist of the lab is that we've been tasked with speccing out a build for developers at the Acme Corporation. Their current PCs are sluggish, and their CEOs allocated $4,800 to purchase 4 new computers. So, if we're purchasing 4 computers with $4,800, then each computer is going to be $1,200 each. And the computers must meet these following requirements. So, it must meet the application system minimum requirements for Windows 10 Enterprise, Office Professional 2016, and Visual Studio Enterprise 2015. The way that you can find that is you can just do a Google search for the product, so Windows 10 Enterprise, and then maybe put system requirements at the end of that. And sometimes Google will be nice and actually pick out those requirements for you from a website. So in this case, this came from the technet.microsoft.com, and we can see that Windows 10 requires 1 gigahertz processor, 1 gigabyte of RAM or 2 gigabytes for 64-bit, and 20 gigabyte hard drive space. Okay, so sometimes Google might not find that, and we'll need to look down through some of these search results. We can see the first one here is probably also a good link of Windows 10 system requirements and specifications. So we're going to take the system requirements for these 3 pieces of software, and we're going to figure out what is the common minimum system requirement for all of those. And let's just assume that for now it's 1 gigahertz processor, 2 gigabytes of RAM, 20 gigabytes of hard drive space, and we can sort of use that as a baseline of what we need to search for as we build our PC. Okay, so there's a couple other requirements here. The devs have been running virtual machines, and they noticed that their mechanical hard drives are causing a bottleneck due to slow access time. So they've requested that a solid state drive be included. Okay. They've also requested an additional hard drive of at least 1 terabyte, 21-inch or larger monitor that's capable of full HD, and to include mice, keyboard, and what other peripherals we may deem necessary. So we're going to use this PCPartPicker.com web page in order to build our PCs. This is the main site, and this site's dedicated to building PCs. So you can see completed builds over here, and these are just builds that other users have submitted. So they put parts together, and we can see they range pretty dramatically in price here, $3,500. We got some down kind of low in the 600s and 500s. So wide variety of things we can do here with the parts, and what we're going to be looking at is the system build tab. So I've already gone through and I've added some parts in here. You're going to do the same thing. So when you first go to this site, there's no parts already populated, and it's just a bunch of add this, choose this, choose this, choose this. So when you click on a particular component, it brings you to a list of all of the hardware that you could choose from. So part of the task for this lab is to figure out what's going to be the best hardware, what's going to give me the best bang for my buck. Alright, so once you add one, it'll populate in this list over here, and the price will be populated. And down at the bottom we can see a total price. So right now I'm at $1093.42. I feel like I have everything. I have the at least a gigahertz processor. I have an SSD right here that is, I believe this one was 250 gigabytes. I did add an external 1 terabyte hard drive, so that hits that spec. I got as much RAM as I felt like I could. I got 16 gigabytes if possible. You may want to go higher if you have the money to do that, and I probably could try to do that given that I still have a little bit of money here to spend. And you just want to make sure you got everything else that would be required. So it's not required that we have an optical drive. It's not required that we have an operating system or that we include any software because the company already has license keys for it. So we don't have to waste any money buying this software. Alright, so once you have the parts that you feel are needed for the PC, then you want to make sure that there's no compatibility problems. So this will let us know if a CPU that we chose is incompatible with the motherboard, or if the memory is incompatible with the motherboard, or if the graphics card won't work for whatever reason. It'll let us know up here, and we can go through and address anything that it finds in the compatibility check. Once we have that, we want to go to this markup section and choose the T for text. So this is going to let us export this whole list into basically just text, and down at the bottom we can see the total and all of the parts that we chose. So copy this, and then you can come back over here and start the quiz. So the quiz is really two questions, and the first one is to paste that text markup from the PC Part Picker website. So with this, I can use this link to go back to the site and pull up your build, and I can also just look through real quick and see the parts that you picked and make sure that you got the minimum requirements in there. And I can also verify that the price is correct. So if you're missing any of the required parts that were mentioned, or if you've gone over on the price here, you're going to get this part marked wrong. And with this being half of the assignment, you don't want to do that. The next part is just to provide justifications for the parts that you pick. Just a couple paragraphs here on how you determine the amount of RAM, maybe the size of the power supply, what storage devices, why did you pick a particular process over another one? Was there anything that influenced your decision on maybe the case or the form factor of the case? Anything like that. Alright, so once you finish that, you can just go ahead and submit the quiz. If you have any questions, please let me know. If not, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Thank you.